In this video, we're going to answer the question, do we get certified? A lot of people say there's no value in it. Some people say they get lots of value. So what we're doing is we're going to get 10 of our partners from around the world together. We're going to ask them this question and they're going to have their thoughts and express what they think the value is. Hi, I'm Peter Rogers, founder and Chief Fulfillment Officer at Mango. We're doing a series of 7 videos where we've got our partners together from Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and we're going to ask them a series of questions. Stick around, because at the end we're going to hear from our UK partners, and they may have a slightly different approach to these questions. So, Nicholas, can you explain what is the value in getting certified?
I think unfortunately, as we've had a discussion earlier on, the current value of certificates is in question, and a lot of that evolves from the ethics of auditors and the value that's given from certification bodies. But like I said earlier, I think it's important for any of us as consultants to take our clients on a journey. One of the questions that was raised earlier was about getting people to sign or do training in ethics, but if you get a crook to sign an ethics certificate, I don't think it's going to have an impact. So I think it's incumbent upon all of us to take our clients on a journey into understanding that it's not just about the certificate, it's not just about the wallware, but it's about an effective risk management program that leads to the organization being able to achieve its intended outcome. So it's a profitable business, not killing people and not harming the environment. So the value in it really has to go back to the customer, and with having the certification body here earlier, my suggestion to the certification body is it's all of our responsibility from the consultants all the way through to the certification bodies to make the customer aware of what is a value-adding certificate. Because I think in many of the customers' minds, they don't know what they don't know about bad certification. So we need to make people aware of what is a value-adding certificate, what adds value to their organization in the process, and not just a piece of paper that looks like something. Because ultimately, if we have to look at their customers saying, well, you've got a certificate on the wall, that represents the fact that you've got an effective management system in managing your risks to achieve the intended outcome. So I think that it's a journey. We've got to make people aware. I think there is a big question around the value of certification at the moment, but I don't believe that we are too far gone to not turn the ship around in the right direction.
Yeah, because the customer is going to be the one that drives the market, and as you said, Nick, they don't often know what they really want. So that's our job, really, to educate the customer in how they can make this certificate actually worth something, rather than where it's going.
Educate them. We're used to the 2 scenarios: a system that doesn't deliver much and is ticking boxes. We've also seen systems that are focused, as Nick is explaining, and I think part of the way we can explain that is there's a fair bit of work and cost in this. You do a little bit more, slight change in intent, which we can educate them on. You'll get a lot more out of it over 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, we've got to sell the certificates, the byproduct of what they're doing, not the focus, because otherwise you can have a really bad system that gets certified, but it's no value.
Yep.
It's got to be value add for the client.
And I think compliance is one of those things that often people don't proactively go seek for compliance. None of us have, and none of us will. So I think it's one of those things that they have a requirement, and we need to acknowledge that. As consultants, we're probably one of the first contact people that would explain the whole process to them. So there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with requiring to be certified. It's often I would look at it as your car has to have warrant of fitness, and you accept that as a requirement. But you could also explain that it also keeps you safer. So some of the burden is also on us actually to explain that yes, you have a requirement, and we acknowledge that you have a requirement, but these are the benefits that you can get as a byproduct of that as well.
Yeah.
My experience has been those organisations that have actually not gone for certification initially, but have gone through the process and started by developing a management system that was delivering value in accordance with the context of the organisation, and then subsequently became certified, were more successful at that. I think certificate itself is just a minimum thing, and we all know that probably that's not as valued as it was once, 10, 15 years ago. But certainly I think the principle or the concept of certification, whilst it has its challenges, what's the alternative?
Yeah.
Point.
And I look at it, the last thing is, I think it's a business decision too. Because if you're looking at some clients, one of the first things I look at is the organisation certified? And as soon as that looks at they're certified, it lifts them up above somebody else who might be a competitor, and it may be a bit more expensive, but because they're certified, the client looks on that as being a positive towards employing that person.
As mentioned at the beginning of the video, is that we're going to talk to our UK partners. So, Chris, can you take this away?
I think it depends on the industry you're in, personally. But going out and speaking to some of our clients, I think in some industries it could be worth up to half of their revenue, simply because without the certification, they wouldn't be considered on frameworks or on approved suppliers. However, in other cases, it's very difficult to put a value on it because they simply just need what we call the ticket to the dance, the certificate on the wall, just to demonstrate that they've got something. So for me personally, I think it's very dependent upon the industry you work in, the size of the organisation. But some of our clients we went to, for example, put a figure of £10 million a year, which was about 65% of the value of the company or the revenue of the company, simply because their biggest client, Scottish Water, demanded that they had to have certification.
Similar thoughts, to be honest with you. So it really depends on why you're going about getting a certification. As you said, if your customers or your industry specifically requires it, well, it's got a lot of value because, as you say, the ticket to the dance is a good phrase, but without it, you're not going to get those customers in the first place. From my own experiences, I think you get a mixture of that, where people are just doing it purely to get a particular customer. They know they have to have it, and some that maybe go through that process and then realise actually this is adding a bit of value to what we do and start to get on board and make the most out of having it, and others who do it because they might lack sort of a competence in a particular area, like sort of health and safety, for example. So signing up to a standard just gives them that kind of reassurance that they're on the right track, they're doing the right things, they're being checked independently, and that in itself can add a lot of value and make it worthwhile.
Again, very similar. What I would say is that the vast majority of the clients we have seeking certification to any ISOs normally come to us because there is a customer requirement. So it's almost always commercially driven. There are a very small number of people who may be doing it, who may use the certification as a means of business improvement, but for me, the vast majority are commercially driven.
So if you enjoyed this video, look at these ones. These are our previous videos, and you might get some more value out of them. Thank you.